Let me ask you a question. At what age do you believe you're supposed to have life completely figured out? Got that number in your head? Do me a favor and just right now in comments, just leave me that number. Like, let's put it all out there. Here's the age at which I think you should have it all figured out. Because here's the thing, I'm 42 years old. I made a whole video about the mistakes that I made when I was in my 20s and 30s. If you haven't seen that yet, go check it out. And I am definitely here to tell you, I feel at 42 like I just turned 21, like I'm just figuring it all out. So you can imagine what it was like for me when I came across a comment from one of my new subscribers. And listen, if you're new here, first of all, thank you so much. Welcome. It's so wonderful to see your gorgeous face here. I have so much love and appreciation for you. This video is specifically for you if you felt like, oh my God, like when am I ever gonna have it figured out like that? Why do I feel stuck? Why do I feel like I'm still, pedaling backwards? If you feel like your dreams are on ice right now because you have to figure out life, and you feel like your friends are leaving you behind, they're on like the fast track for whatever reason, and here you are stuck in this lane that's not even moving. It's not even like there's just traffic, it's just you, is what it feels like in your head. This video, I made this video for you, and I want to give you, I don't even have tools today. I just want to give you the breakdown of how it played out for me in the years that came between 25 and 42, and some of the wisdom that I've gleaned that may resonate with you. And I mean, like auntie vibes, I'm also going to give you some low-key tools, okay? So I lied. So stick around for the very end for some tools that can help you in this moment. But I just really, this video, like, this one's really from the heart because I need you to understand you are not alone. Hey, welcome to Love on Stage. I'm Mahokhodi. If you're ready to make sales and spark action when you speak, this is your place. I've helped dozens of leaders choose courage over comfort by speaking with confidence and love, especially in tough conversations. Because listen, public speaking isn't just a thing that you do on stage. It's what you do every time you deliver a work presentation, when you interview for that plump job you deserve, when you negotiate your salary, and every time you sweat bullets during a big pitch. That's all public speaking. It's time to level up your storytelling because your story matters. So, you ready to speak like a boss? Let's get into your most powerful story. Specifically, the thing that made me make this video is a young woman who's 25 who mentioned in her comment that she's at the stage in life where she just feels so stuck and she feels like everybody is moving forward and here she is, she's at a standstill. And that hit me so hard. I had to make this video for you because I remember what it was like in my 20s when I was really, really struggling with deep, big, huge questions and things. I did not feel like I had it figured out because, spoiler alert, there is no age when you ever feel like you have it figured out. Ask 80-year-olds. They're still trying to write this shit and like figure it out on the fly, okay? So number one, I didn't have it figured out. Number two, I was really struggling with like feeling like I didn't belong. I was kicked out of school because of financial struggles. I definitely battled depression. I didn't know what that word was. I was living through the wildest kinds of financial woes. I remember sometimes having $20 to my name. And as an immigrant, that $20 was like, that was the week. That was the whole week. And at the same time, trying to figure out like, how do I send money home? How do I keep supporting my family? Raise your hand if you're an immigrant. Raise your hand if you're first generation at university. Raise your hand if you grew up in a family that did not have a lot, but made miracles out of the little that you did. Raise your hand if you were raised by a single mom. Raise your hand if you weren't born in the United States and you understand what it's like to really, 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 really have to hustle for your dream. keep that hand raised if you're having current struggles right now that resonate at all with some of the things that I've described. If you're feeling anxiety, if you're feeling like you're in your 20s but you don't really feel like you're at the party, you're just more dealing with a lot of change and you're not really sure, how do I be? Because I'm here to tell you, if your hand is raised, you're not alone. You are not alone. And that's probably the most important thing that I can tell you on this particular video. You're not alone, and so many of us have been through that exact same path. And the way that you get through that path, I really wish I had understood this in my 20s, because I was the kind of person who believed I was supposed to have it all figured out. I'm a firstborn child, okay, of my mother's children. And let me tell you something, like the way that we put pressure on ourselves, and we have this like perfectionist idea in our head, and especially in my 20s, because I hadn't yet lived enough life to understand, like, girl, like you're just starting out. Give yourself a break. You're not supposed to ever have it figured out. If that's the case, you've probably stopped growing, and once you stop growing, guess what? Like, it's probably time for you to move on. Nothing that is growing does anything except for feel the challenges of what it means to be alive, right? And also the joys of being alive. And what I wish I had understood is a superpower, is being able to look around me sideways and sharing my experience. The young woman who came onto this YouTube and left in comments what's actually going on for her, I can't tell you how much it means and how much admiration I have for you for being that kind of person. Because let me tell you, when I was your age, I thought I just had to have it all figured out, and if I didn't, like, that was all on me, and it was because I was failing and blah, 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 right? And the most beautiful and most validating life thing that we get to do is we get to do it together. That is the point and the purpose of life, if you haven't figured it out yet. There's a reason why we're born into families. There's a reason why we're born like animals, needing our mothers and clinging to them as desperately as babies do. And I'm here to tell you that the more that you can get comfortable getting confidence from being vulnerable. There's a whole video that I've done around that. Why vulnerability is the most counterintuitive thing that's going to help you build your confidence. Guess what? It's also the thing, vulnerability, that's going to help you get through whatever it is that you feel that makes you feel like you're left behind, okay? So I need you to begin opening up. Open up to people that you trust, that you can share, this is where I am right now. Like, this is my truth. This is what feels difficult. And also try and reach out to people who may have figured it out already. One of the things that I know would have made my load easier as an immigrant is if I had just been brave enough to share with other immigrants who'd already been through the journey. Here's how I'm struggling. Have you been through this? Do you know, like, some hacks? Like, is there a shortcut here? Because 9 times out of 10, most people, they want to help other people. Most people want to help you, but you have to give them permission into your life and into helping you. Another thing that I really wish I had known and understood is that life is short, but in so many ways, life is long. The dreams that you have, they're not dreams that are for today. They're not dreams even for today or tomorrow and next week, and you have to have them accomplished by the time you turn 30, and if you don't, woe is me. The dreams that you have, if they are your true calling and your real reason for being here, thank God they are dreams that you're going to be working on for the rest of your life. Okay, let me tell you something. I had a huge dream that I wanted to be a published author. I accomplished it. I put out my big first book. But guess what? It was my first book. It's still part of my dream. My dream is ongoing and now it's evolved. My dream now is to see myself with a second, a third, a whole library of books, and that's what I'm working on right now. And I want you to know that once you step one foot towards your dream, like, that thing is not finished. And don't be so concerned with all of the other people that you see in what looks like the fast lane. They're doing their own business. You're on your own lane that to them looks like the fast lane. You don't realize it, but to them looks like the fast lane. And 10 years from now, when you look back, you're going to understand why the things that happened for you in the way that they did. For me, it was so hard. It was so hard getting kicked out of school because I didn't have the finances to be able to keep going. It was such a wake-up call. It really slapped me like boldly into America. And I'm so grateful for that, to be honest, because had I not had that initial training, I know I would not have had the wide eyes that I do towards everything that America is, both the opportunities that I see in America and that helped me in America, but also the underbelly of America. I got to experience the underbelly firsthand, and I got to understand and see how the American dream is accessible and made only for a chosen few, right? And the hardships in your life, they are there to do and to help you do exactly that, so that you can look around you and get curious. Well, who else is in pain? Who else has been kicked out of school because they don't have enough money? Who else has been kicked out of school because they come from public high schools that didn't prepare them properly and just throw them in and say, good luck, I hope you make it? Who else is in the same financial boat where their parents aren't able to fork over thousands, crazy amounts of money to be able to help you get a first chance at life? Who else is in that boat? And is this something that is systems wide? And how can I be part of the solution towards making that system better, fixing that system? If I hadn't had the rude wake-up call that I through no choice of mine was indoctrinated in by being kicked out of school, by being kicked out of undergrad, life would have turned out very differently for me. So I'm not gonna sit here and say to you, you should be grateful for the tough things that are going on, but I am definitely going to ask you to see those things in context and understand what is happening to you in relationship to what's happening systems wide. It's not just you. So what are some of the reasons that are making this happen? And you have the power towards doing something about those things. What are some of the gifts that you have towards that issue? Heart. I remember turning 21 and I was kicked out of school. I was kicked out of school for years, by the way, so that situation didn't change for a really long time. And while I was out of school, I turned 21, and I remember, first of all, my mother is a rock, because she found a way to bring so much joy with the little that we had at that moment, right? And to celebrate me and to make it into a big deal. And I was so in my feels, as the kids say. I was so broken by me not being able to move forward the way that I thought I was supposed to, and the way that I thought I had to have it all together, that, to be honest, I didn't have a lot of container for joy at the time. And this is what I wish I had understood. Just let it go to the extent that you have. I'm not saying let go of the dream, because I already told you, you're going to be working on that dream for the rest of your life. What I am saying is let go of wanting to control. Let go of the way it's supposed to be, what it should, all of these ideas that we have in our heads. Let that go for a moment and just open your eyes to the possibilities of joy that are in front of you right now. You know, I was living in Philadelphia at the time, and there's so much now when I play that moment and those moments in my head. There's so much that I just wish I had been more present in my life. I wish I had been smart enough to be like, oh, okay, I got kicked out of school. Why don't I pick up a camera and see if I can work on my photography thing, because that's something I love and it seems interesting and I have time. Or I could have taken that time to say, oh, I've always been interested in learning another language. Maybe this is my opportunity to really get serious and good at speaking Spanish while this thing is percolating and I'm working on it in the meantime. I am asking you to do this because protecting your joy and understanding that your joy is not something that is a given that should be, and I don't use the word should ever in vocabulary, only lightly, but I really would love that to be the assignment that we give to young people. What you have innately and organically, and you're just born this way, when I look at my child, the level of joy that this human being is able to super wattage out from his face and smile is such, it's intoxicating. And the idea that at some point society intercepts and takes your joy, or you let society take your joy away from you, like that should be the real homework. How do you protect your joy? And how do you practice being so much in your joy in your 20s that you never let anybody take it away from you, no matter what the circumstance is? That is the assignment, and that is the homework that I'm giving you. I'm your auntie, okay? I'm the auntie over here in this particular video, and that is the homework that I want to give to you. What is your daily joy? What is your practice towards joy? I didn't even think about that until my 30s, that I could have a practice of daily joy. I want you to already have that muscle building, and I want you to protect that beautiful birthright thing that you came into this planet understanding how to do. How do we rekindle it? How do we protect it? And especially in a moment like this where you feel I'm losing, I'm stuck, I'm behind, we need to activate that joy, because guess what? My life began turning around the moment I got back in touch with my joy. The moment I remembered, like, I love learning, and that's got nothing to do with being in school. I can learn no matter where I am. Give me a book, like, let me read all the things, let me write all the things, right? And wild, true, factual story, everything actually started working in my favor, and I found myself not only back in school, but I got an undergraduate degree from Newman University, one of like the absolute, like, I love them down to the bone. I got a master's degree from NYU, New York University, one of the best schools probably in the whole world. I went on and got an MFA, a Master of Fine Art in Creative Writing, at a school that is harder to get into than Harvard. I went to the IO Writers Workshop. My dream that was intercepted was particularly about school. So I'm giving you that whole playbook to tell you this thing that is so true. Focus on your joy, focus on your presence, and I promise you that dream is yours already. It's already yours. What you need to do is put back into yourself, into your soul, and the universe, trust me, is going to help you and be a co-conspirator in the actions that you're also taking towards making that dream come true. Maybe it won't look like the timeline that you thought in your 20s, in your whatevers. It's not gonna look like that, but it's already yours, okay? It's just about you getting back in touch with your joy source. That is also, believe it or not, it's like the ignition to your dream. I hope that this video has been helpful for you. I so very much am sharing this not only with the 20-year-olds, but with the inner 20-year-olds that I'm still carrying inside, the inner 21-year-old. And if you're that person too, you're 50 and your inner 20-year-old went through some things, I hope that this video has been helpful for you. Again, I would love to hear from you in comments. Please drop me a note. I am Machochodi. Fresh videos drop here every Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon. I am so grateful always for your subscription, for your likes. This channel and what it's doing for me specifically and helping me heal, you're helping me to heal. Thank you. Was that useful? You want to go even deeper? I'd love to support you. My coaching program can help you make money and spark action whenever you speak with intention. Book time to chat using the link in the description box below. Also, leave a comment if this video offered something you needed to hear today, or if you have a question you want me to unpack in next week's episode. Fresh episodes drop every Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Hit subscribe to get a notification so you never miss a beat. Thank you so much for being here. I want you to know that your story matters. and I'm here to help you stand out from the stage to the page.